Okay, so ready to jump into something kind of, well, fiery.
Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about lithium-ion batteries. Those things that are in, like, everything these days.
Absolutely. They're ubiquitous. From our smartphones to electric vehicles, it's hard to imagine modern life without them.
Right. But here's the thing. There's a whole other side to these batteries that we need to talk about. Safety.
It's true. As powerful and convenient as they are, lithium-ion batteries do pose certain risks if not handled properly.
Exactly. And that's why we're doing this deep dive today. We're taking a look at some firsthand reporting from NBC News. And they were present at a demonstration by the FDNY that was, well, pretty eye-opening. They intentionally set some e-bikes and e-scooters on fire to show just how intense these battery fires can be.
It sounds dramatic.
Oh, it was. They literally called them infernos in seconds. I mean, can you imagine? 1 minute you have an e-bike, and the next, it's engulfed in flames. The smoke was so thick from those fires that they had to evacuate the whole building. I can only imagine what that was like to witness firsthand.
It definitely highlights the seriousness of the issue, but beyond the spectacle, it's crucial to understand why these fires are so dangerous.
So let's get into that, right? Like, what's actually happening inside the battery that makes these fires so intense?
It all comes down to a phenomenon known as thermal runaway.
Okay, thermal runaway. That sounds kind of scary.
Well, it can be. Basically, what happens is if a single battery cell overheats, for whatever reason, maybe damage, overcharging, whatever it might be, as that temperature rises, it triggers a chemical breakdown inside the battery.
I see.
And that chemical reaction releases more heat, along with flammable gases.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and this creates a sort of domino effect where adjacent cells start to overheat and ignite, leading to a rapid and intense fire that can be extremely difficult to put out.
So it's like a chain reaction, right? One cell goes up, then the next, and suddenly you've got this massive fire.
Precisely. And that makes these fires particularly challenging to fight because traditional fire suppression methods aren't always as effective.
So it's not just your average fire that you can easily put out with a fire extinguisher, huh?
Unfortunately, no.
We've been talking about the intensity of these fires, but like, how often are these actually happening?
Well, the numbers are pretty concerning. Between 2017 and 2023, there were 40 reported deaths from lithium-ion battery fires in the U.S. alone.
Wow, 40 deaths. That's a lot.
And it's likely an underestimation. As more and more devices rely on these batteries, the potential for incidents increases.
Yeah, I think it's easy to hear about these fires and think, oh, that's just e-bikes and scooters. But these batteries are in everything. My phone, laptop, even my toothbrush uses a lithium-ion battery.
You're absolutely right. We're increasingly surrounded by these batteries. They're in power tools, electric vehicles, almost everything. And as their use continues to expand, awareness of the risks becomes all the more crucial.
Okay, so we know they can be dangerous, but we can't exactly live without them. So what can we do to, like, minimize the risk?
You're right. Avoiding them completely isn't really feasible. But there are some practical things we can all do to be safer.
Okay, good. I was hoping you would say that.
The first thing is always look for batteries and chargers that are certified by reputable organizations like Underwriters Laboratories, UL or Intertech, ETL.
Right, those little symbols you see on products.
Exactly. Those certifications mean that the product has met certain safety standards, so you're less likely to end up with a faulty battery or charger.
So basically, don't just go for the cheapest option on some random website. Make sure it's been properly vetted.
Exactly. It's worth the peace of mind. And another important thing is to never, ever leave your batteries unattended while they're charging. If something does go wrong, you want to be able to catch it early.
Makes sense.
And whenever possible, especially for larger devices like e-bikes or scooters, charge them outdoors in a well-ventilated area away from anything flammable.
Good advice. So much of this is just common sense, isn't it?
Absolutely. But it's easy to overlook these things. It's also worth remembering that even a brand new battery fresh out of the box could have a manufacturing defect.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So how do we know if something's wrong with a battery?
Well, pay attention to any signs of trouble. If you see the battery swelling, if it's getting unusually hot, or if you notice any weird odors coming from your device, those are all red flags. Stop using it immediately and consult the manufacturer's instructions.
So basically, trust your senses. If something seems off, it probably is.
Exactly. And this might seem obvious, but I can't stress it enough. Always use the correct charger for your device. Using a charger that's not specifically designed for your battery can put extra stress on it, making it more likely to overheat and potentially fail.
Right. Using the wrong charger is like using the wrong key in a lock. It's not going to work properly.
That's a great analogy.
So we've talked a lot about the risks and how to mitigate them. But I'm also curious about the future. Like, is anyone working on making these batteries inherently safer?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of research and development happening right now in the field of battery technology.
Like, what kind of stuff?
Well, one promising area is the development of solid-state batteries. These are different from traditional lithium-ion batteries in that they don't use a flammable liquid electrolyte.
So no more flammable liquids inside the batteries. That sounds like a good thing.
Exactly. By eliminating that flammable component, the risk of fire is significantly reduced.
Interesting. So maybe someday these fires will be a thing of the past.
Well, we can certainly hope so. But until that day comes, it's really on each of us to stay informed, take precautions, and do our part to use these devices safely.
Well said. So to wrap up, we've had a pretty in-depth look at the potential hazards of lithium-ion batteries. But as we've learned, knowledge is power, right? By understanding the risks and taking some simple precautions, we can continue to enjoy all the amazing things these batteries make possible while minimizing the chances of something going wrong. Now, here's something to think about as we sign off. Knowing what you know now, are there any changes you might make to your own charging habits? Maybe how you handle your devices? It's always a good time to take a step back and make sure we're doing everything we can to stay safe.
That's a great takeaway.
So until next time, stay curious and stay safe.
And charged up, but safely.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. For more detail you can visit our blog website www.evergreentechtips.com.